and we're going to listen to a lot of questions which I'm going to be asking you guys. But I'm going to start with something extremely basic which we would all want to know from the two of you is the start of the journey. So starting with you, Sharman, I mean, we've seen, I personally, I think many others also, we've been a part of how we've seen you grow. Like as I have grown, I've seen you also grow as an actor, as a person and everything. So how did it start? Like what came to you that you got into acting, the movies, and what was the starting bit of it? And how did you feel about it?
Hello everyone, firstly. Nice to be here. My first such visit at the JITO summit. Heard a lot about it and now I see why so. The lovely energy all of you are exuding is wonderful to see. To answer Sumani's question, it all began at home for me actually. My father, Arvind Joshi, my uncle Praveen Joshi, my aunt Sarita Joshi. They were, so to say, the torchbearers of modern Gujarati theatre. And Mumbai has a very active theatre scene, especially for Gujarati and the Marathi languages. It has a large audience and they really enjoy their theatre. And even so today. And I watched my dad, I saw writers and co-actors and directors, poets coming home, interacting with my dad, early exposure to that world. And somewhere when I had to take a call about what line of work I will be heading towards, I had three options in my head. One was to be an actor, second to be a businessman, and third to be a lawyer. Sorry, second to be a lawyer and third to be a businessman. Lawyer, like a criminal lawyer, is what I wanted to be. So I was studying for my graduation in commerce, and towards the last 2 years, I decided I have to. It was only when I was 19 I first dared to step on stage because as a personality I'm very shy, and it took a lot out of me for me to actually step out there. And the first time I stepped out and the response was astounding, and we were all shocked because they all loved everything that we were doing. And we said, something wrong with them? Are they actually just kind of, teasing us or just kind of hustling us? But finally we figured they actually loved what we did. It was a little skit kind of a play that we did in the class. That's when it all began. Then I met my guru, Joshi, not related to me, a wonderful man who passed away very soon. Unfortunately for me, I lost a mentor there. My father has always been a great support, and I treated my acting career. I was quite a cricketer also, played for college till the first year at least. So I had decided that I'll keep doing, I started doing professional Gujarati theatre, and I decided every evening I'm going to go out and perform like it's a Ranji Trophy match, and every outing should be worth at least 100 runs, if not more. And I gave 100% to my performances, and I believed that work would beget work. And sure enough, eventually people heard about me, and I got my first break in the film Godmother. Thank you.
That is very interesting. I think that deserves a round.
Louder, guys, louder.
But I think the one thing that you mentioned over here was going out every day and performing. So I think that always helps. I think consistency has been the key for many people. Even if I'm sure you're good at what you do because your first performance really got such a lot of appreciation. But if you're doing something consistently, even if you're mediocre, you become a lot better. And I think that is a good takeaway from there. Nick?
It's a good example of being mediocre and not getting better.
I'm sorry, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. But even if you are, a lot of people may feel that they're not extremely talented. And self-doubt always comes in picture. But that's the same thing. Working hard always takes over the talent sometimes. So if you're consistent at doing something, you're working very hard for it, you will sure reach there. Let's hear about your journey.
I think there's a 1,000-day rule. If you do something for 1,000 days, and even if you're not good at it, but if you pour your heart out, you become better at it. Like,
Wasn't it 21?
21?
21 days.
1,000 days. You're comparing 1,000 days to 21 days. only.
1,000 is too much, but yeah. If
Time
that
takes
is
time.
how it works. Now we saw you were among the first players in content creation. I mean, we were talking about it just yesterday of how you have been the pioneer of it. From making content creation a proper profession, making sure that people earn out of making videos and not just do it for validation and attention from peers and people around them. So how difficult was it? What got you into it? And how do you feel right now that there's an entire creator economy? From that, you've seen it where people used to do it for free, for barter, and now where they charge a bomb. So it's been an incredible. How do you feel about it? How did you start?
I mean, first of all, hi guys. It's so good to be here. It's my second or third time in Bangalore. The last time I was here, I was too hungry and I wanted to have sambar rice. So I flew from Bombay to have sambar rice here and went back to Bombay.
Oof! Oof!
But this is like my first proper time. I still had sambar rice again, like you know.
I know.
Yeah, my journey has been amazing. It's been 9 years that I'm doing this now, guys. And I remember the first time when we started doing it, YouTube used to send us to these things called speed dating with brands, where we used to tell brands that, you know, come to digital, because there's so much here. Like, you know, you go to a college fest and how many people would watch you in college, and how many, like say 5,000, 10,000 people will like watch your banner. Like the first minute you get more views than that, you get this. And we used to tell them, like, you know, I used to not tell them that come and work with me. I used to tell them that come on digital. Just come and working on digital. From that to now, like everything is going digital. It has been an amazing journey. I remember the first brand that I did, okay, first branded video that I did. I'm a great negotiator. I told them that I want 3 lakhs for this video, and we both agreed for 8,000. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I used to be a bartender before doing this. I did bartending for like 8 years. And I feel the best stories that you get is behind bars. And I always wanted to meet Sir, like, never got a chance to meet him. Like, one of my inspirations behind doing comedy. My favorite movie of all time is Style. I got a chance to meet Style and we worked with him. I need at least one dialogue from Style.
We have to.
We have to.
We have to.
I know a lot more.
We know the dialogues, Sharman. I think that's been like an iconic movie. It's made a statement.
I mean, in fact, you know, I was thinking of writing bigger projects like for series or for like movies and stuff like that. And I personally feel that the last Bombay humor college movie that has come out is Style.
Has to be.
I don't think there's nothing after Style that is like not even like come close to what like Bombay and Bombay humor is.
Absolutely, it's so amazing that Style still resonates even today. And people talk about Style in the same breath as they talk about Three Idiots. And just a little trivia, I made my place in Raju Hirani sir's heart through my movie Style. He said from the time he saw this movie of mine, he had decided that he's going to cast me in a role which has a lot of meat, and so waited for the longest time till he came with the offer of Three Idiots to me. So Style has been a great contributor to me and my career, and it's wonderful that youngsters still know about this movie, and it's been 20 years back. So imagine once
It's been
a movie.
20 years.
It's been 20 years.
2 decades.
So once a movie works,
Shit.
yeah, it works.
Yeah, we've turned very old.
A lot of my content is that style of comedy.
Yes, it is. Vatana. We can't hear you guys. Okay.
So induction motor, it is supported by 2 engines which are about 100 bhp, and then eventually it works something like this.
Okay, I do have a question there. You started with theatre. You did movies, but style became, I think, your movie, like your platform for Bollywood. You got your peak, and it's still so, we remember it so well. Now, what would be, I mean, I don't know how many pursue acting over here and things like that, but there's a question coming which says that, what would be your say for people like that who are newcomers and who want to be in Bollywood? How they sustain their, how do they make their mark in Bollywood?
To
In
begin with, we will all swear here today at this moment, at this time, note it down, anyone and everyone, and you especially, because you are out there with the people and you have to stop calling, we have to stop calling ourselves Bollywood and we'll call ourselves Indian cinema or
Okay.
Hindi cinema or anything else but Bollywood. That's looking down upon ourselves and we don't
Yeah.
deserve that. We are trying to make content as good as it can, and it's a journey. And remember, the budgets are limited for us compared to what is happening out there in the West. But full respect, they are many years ahead in terms of the professional approach that they have, which we are also now bringing in since the past 10 years at least for sure. And it's a journey and it's going to move forward. So Indian cinema, please, my
Let's do it.
earnest request, humble request to everyone over here, pass that message, spread it across. You were saying...
I'm saying like how you got style and you
Yeah.
consistency and you got one thing.
Yeah.
What would be your take for others who want to get into it?
Right.
And
You know,
stay?
there is no set formula of how one can kind of find their way into films and then stay there, because it's such a individual journey. But I would just like to say one thing. I've always said that you have to be honest to yourself and have realistic goal settings, so that the disappointment, if at all it happens, you are aware of it and it will not throw you off. So give it your 100% and hang in there till as long as you can, and you will find your way. I found my way 20 years back. Nowadays things have changed even more so. There's an additional platform for all of you all to explore, OTT platform which we never had, with great content happening there. So there's room for everyone, and life is easier for you all basically.
Okay, I'm definitely going to talk more about OTT platforms and stuff like that, but coming to you, Nick, COVID. I mean, this is actually both of you. COVID has changed the entire game in terms of content creation and the creator economy. I think a lot more people got on their phones, a lot more people started watching content. People who would not watch content earlier got time to, get on their phones and explore the various platforms, various social media apps. And you have been you're great on Instagram, you're great on Facebook, you're great on YouTube. You've made your strategy well. I want to understand two things from you. We can start first with the COVID question as to how did it change the game for you? How did it change the game for the entire creator economy?
When COVID hit, I was in LA and we got scared. I'd gone to San Francisco and we got scared hearing that there were 2 cases in San Jose. So we ran back and came to Bombay, where there were like 18 in my building. So
Yeah.
that's when it started. And I had plans to travel. I had plans to I was planning to go to Utrecht and write a movie and stuff like that for long. But then when it hit, that's when I realized I was going through a constant battle with myself, saying that I'm going to do so much more that I'm going to come out as a winner through this. I worked twice as hard in COVID than I do right now also, because I didn't want to waste those years sitting at home doing nothing. So this is how I grew a lot during that phase. And it's people who do their own thing, people who create content, who doesn't have any boss or something. I feel it's very difficult to be self-motivated.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years that I'm doing the same thing, and there's nobody to tell us what to do, right? So it's very difficult to be self-motivated. And that's what I feel that I love still living at Dombivli, because I want my friends around me, and I don't want to be surrounded by yes men. So
Yeah.
that's how I try to keep myself grounded and be at a place, and every day is to fight as if I have to create something. Like he said that Used to go out working every day. I used to stay in working every day.
So it's interesting because you also explored a lot more genres during the COVID. As we see, you have started singing. You've been at the music festival out of comedy and been there as a singer, not as a comedian or a content creator. You have your music videos coming up and you said you're writing a movie. So I think you also explored out and did a lot more things. There's so many creators out there. COVID got people on social media. People have become way more active on social media. As an actor, do you feel a pressure? That, oh, I have to be on social media, I have to be relevant, I have to do you? Because as an actor, it's a different game. There's a different strategy for your career as opposed to a content creator. But you see how content creators are gaining up, the entire market. So is there a pressure as an actor on you?
No, not really. And in the sense, there's room for everyone. And it's wonderful that such content is being created on the digital space. Such great work which is appreciated by so many of the people, and I've been told youngsters especially love the space. So having said that, I am not much of a social media person, and that's a call I've taken, man. And it's something as a personality. I don't have it in me also to, create such great content that, is being created. And also I have nothing really to say, and I like to keep one part of my world to myself alone. And that's where I kind of can't. So all my colleagues and all my well-wishers keep telling me that you have to move on into this space, but I'm holding back. And I not holding back, I've tried, because I see that there's so much potential in terms of the love that you get out there, and also in terms of business. It's become, a parallel industry which is thriving very well. But it's some things you can do and some things you can't. I think I can act and be there in films and stage and whatever OTT platform. But I can't fly this aircraft. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah.
Do you consume content from the content creator? Do you have your favorite content creators? Ki iska kaam zyada acha lagta hai, or you've seen? Are you a consumer of it?
No, not really. Not really. I've off late I've been watching YouTube shorts though, because that kind of covers up a lot of things from political to everything else. I am very boring that way, so I'm sorry.
You entertain us, so I think that makes up for it. Now,
only that side is awake. So that's where all the youngsters are.
Guys, what is this?
These guys here are.
We're gonna have a battle now from your guys on the left, the right.
Egoistic लोग हैं थोड़े ये लोग.
लोग रखे हैं बोलने के लिए.
Sharman said a very interesting thing about consuming YouTube shorts. A lot of creators have a lot of mixed opinion about the reels, the TikTok, the short form content that is coming. Because we all, again, at least the two of us, have always been into long form content. We really had a lot more direction, high end quality stuff, and now we see you need a phone, you need 30 seconds and you have to create content. What's your take, Nick, on that? I technically know it, I want to know it from you.
To be honest, I do both. Yeah, but I think I've stopped consuming content since past 4-5 years now.
Okay.
Because there's only two things that happen when I consume content. The one is that I see and I say, what is happening in this world? Right? Why is this piece of thing working so much? And how do people have an audience for this, right? And the other thing is, if it's good, right? If it's really good, even if I don't want to, my subconscious mind tries to imitate that. Like, as a writer, because I write all my stuff, I used to watch a lot of Key and Peele. Then I started making stuff like that. That's when I realized that, I think just to not lose my originality, just to be unique, I have to I've stopped watching content like of all sorts.
But as you said, a lot of per se cringe or quality content which has not been produced as great cameras or writing per se, as we assume them to be, have sometimes done really well. Does it happen to you that because it happens to me a lot of times. That's why that there's one piece of content we create and it's too good. It's close to your heart and like ये तो मतलब kill करने वाला है internet पे. And you see that it just bombs, it tanks there. And then there's some piece of content you just make it like खड़े street पे बना दिया and then that goes mad viral.
It always happens, no? It always happens. So I remember the first video that went viral is like 8 years ago. Was a parody of an ad that we did called Mauka Mauka. So that video,
Yes.
I was so bored making that video and like by then my average views were like 400, 500, something like that. In fact, the guy who was supposed to act in that video left somewhere. I just picked one guy from the street saying that तू 2 मिनट ये करेगा क्या? And the video blew up. That guy, उसका फिर newspaper में photo आ गया, TV में interview आ गया. So that video, I was not supposed to like make a like.
Yeah.
I'll just make it. So I waited for like I made 3-4 Mauka Mauka videos, blew up. That was pre-Geo. Then I made the one which is very close to my heart. So the views went from like 4 million, 3 million to like 15,000. The one which was like really close to my heart.
Yeah.
But I think even if like, you know, one that's really close to your heart, if you keep doing it, like I stopped doing those Mauka Mauka videos because I knew even if I do it, I'll get a lot of views. A lot of people kept doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, whenever I was going outside, they were like, hey, Ari, that Mauka Mauka guy. That's when I stopped doing it. So it took me probably 3 years from being recognized as that Mauka Mauka guy to Nick. But if I would have just continued that, I would have still been that Mauka Mauka guy. So I feel you should just have fun and you should enjoy what you're doing. That's how it is.
It's important to make content that you resonate with because eventually it's not about views, it's the identity that we want to create for ourselves. You've done theatre and then movies and then now OTT platforms. I really want to know from you, I don't know if this is a right question to ask an artist, but what have you enjoyed more? Has theatre been like, बोलते ना कि stage पे दिल है? I always say this. Like he was telling me yesterday कि अभी क्या stage online सब कुछ करा, and I'm like stage still has my heart. I mean I would still want to go on stage and do my shows. So is it like the stage or is it like acting in the movies or because I'm sure experience has been absolutely different. So what have you enjoyed more and what has been the difference between the three in doing it?
So, I'll answer the last part first.
Okay.
The difference between each platform is not there for me because I act on stage, I act on an OTT platform or in films just the way I would have act. And, irrespective of where the camera is positioned, all those insecurities I have fortunately been able to keep myself away from. I do my bit, and
That's very rare though.
Yeah.
That's very rare.
No, most of the new guys are now like that only. No one is really worried about their left profile, right profile, where, what, which is my.
She is. That's why she changed the seats from me.
That's okay. So थोड़ा बहुत indulgence भी ठीक ही है. But actor type I still am. But commercially viable actor is what I wanted to be. So मैं थोड़ा corrupted भी हूँ, थोड़ा नहीं भी हूँ. It's like, but then to say stage is an actor's medium, like we all know, and it gives me the greatest joy and satisfaction, and it is unmatchable to any of the other platforms. But OTT liberated me as an actor because I was so cautious about approaching my parts, my lines, all the time making sure it's perfect. OTT in the true Indian style is on, though OTT is, the budgets are high, but we are used to shooting at a pace that we can save money. So OTT we were shooting at such a crazy pace, and I was shocked at the number of pages we were shooting during that time. But what the good part for me, the greatest part for me, is that it's liberated me as an actor. I don't now worry too much before a shot. I just go with the flow, because otherwise you can't film so many pages. So yeah, and I've chased films only for one reason, is to reach out to wider audiences, larger audiences, and then I was fortunate to get a few good films in my way. Yeah.
So from what you said, कि now it's come to a point कि हाँ मतलब अब हमको जाना है, हमको shoot करना है, हम वापस आते हैं, next shot ready होता है, we go in. So has this happened? And if it does, I'm assuming पहले होता होगा and eventually you must have gone over it. But still I want to ask this: कि you give a shot and then maybe when you watch it or you feel in your head, यार I didn't give my time to it. Like I wanted to think over it more or be better at it or this can be better. Are you the one who asks for another shot or you're over it? कि नहीं अभी हो गया, let's do the next one. What goes into your head after you've given a shot?
So it's been various stages, right? When you are just starting off, you have all these questions in your head that could I have done it better? Did I give my 100%? Was I not? Was I comfortable? Looking comfortable? Self-doubt is at its peak. As time passes by, you get some sort of a confidence and faith in what you're doing, and then eventually, it's always been my heart that I've relied upon. And that's always worked out most of the times. So when your heart says that you hit the right note, you go see the monitor and sure enough it's looking good. And sometimes you get overcritical and try to improve even that, and that's where you go wrong, because then you're not trusting your heart and then your heart is saying you're manipulating me while you're performing. So I stick to the heart and I've stopped seeing the monitor altogether now.
Okay, don't. Super, that's the trust.
Sorry to cut you off. I was just wondering, like, when he said that when he came to OTD and how he's fascinated by the pace of work that do. Wait till you come to YouTube.
Exactly. This is create content every day.
Wait till you like see how we shoot.
But you know, that's very interesting what you pointed out, because I think we don't have that problem, because if our shoot is not nice, we can do a retake. We don't have like 1,000 people waiting for us like just for it. So we of course can do a retake. But what's the difficult part here is creating the content. And you apparently have been one of the most creative content creators. The ideas don't you all agree? Because the ideas you come up with, every video is distinct, it's different than the other. You collaborate with actors, actresses, and you see that you bring their flavor into the video. What goes into what is your inspiration? Like, कहाँ से वो idea आता है कि अब sometimes it's not a collab. Like sometimes you know if it's a collab या brand तो आपको अलग होता है. But sometimes you're just creating content for your channel, for your happiness. Where do you get that idea? Is there an inspiration you go out for?
It's just like, just time. Like you meet people. I travel a lot. I meet a lot of people. I understand them. Like remember the idea that I told you that I'm going to do with you would only come with you, right?
Correct.
So with actors also, like if a particular actor comes in and we have to collab together, I would never do it if I feel that I'm just like either promoting their movie or it has no value added with me. And I would always come up with something like the one that we did with Vivek Oberoi. It was so amazing with Ganpat, that only if it adds value and only if it fits well with the actor we do it. Otherwise it's just general life, I guess. My life is way more funnier than the content that I make.
I clearly know that. But you were right. I mean, that Ganpat video couldn't have been made with anybody else than Vivek Oberoi. So it was so apt. But do you have a process? Do you write the script first? Do you have
on the way to his house when I thought of it.
Oh, so it's very impromptu.
I was supposed to go to.
अपना guy, जैसे मैं गाड़ी में बैठ के मेरे को idea आया, मैं जाके shoot कर लिया.
हाँ वैसे ही है actually. But I feel I'm a very lazy writer. Like I only write if I have to pitch it to a brand, and that too I only like write that branded part, and I'll be like, rest leave it to me. Like if you come to me, then you trust me, right? Yeah. So I'm a very lazy writer. What I feel is, it's just natural. Like you act. This is how I talk, and this is how I act, right? So I don't think I require a lot of writing to act on what I've written, and because I write everything. So the character that I've written has a lot to do with how I'd react to it. So I don't have to like study the character, right? That's me. So it's mainly just the situation that I like and like how to act around it. And I've got a great set of team who's like now knows like how I'll react, and I know how Tushar would react. Give it up for Tushar, guys.
Woo!
He's not around. So yeah, I know how Tushar would react, how Murli would react. So I know if I put in this improv line, how they would react to it.
Correct. So I think that helps when you're authentic. If anyone over here is creating content on YouTube or any platform, if you're authentic, like a lot of people have seen, would be very different on their social media image and what they are in real. You know, when you meet them, "Arey, ye to waisa hai hi nahi." So
That's what I felt about you.
Marungi. So I think that helps when you are when you're authentic with your content creation. The process also becomes easier there.
It should be organic.
It should be organic. I have a very interesting question. You still do theatre? Yes. Correct. Now, have you seen a difference in the people coming up? I know about Gujarati, Marathi theatre. People are still there. They're still all out. They love watching Gujarati theatre. Even today, you know, a Rang Shada will be full for a Sahi Re Sahi or something like that. Now, but because you've been an actively involved artist there, do you see a difference in people's mindset of what do you see a future of theatre in India with the OTT platforms coming in, content being consumed on social? सब कुछ उनको घर पे मिल रहा है.
Like, let me rephrase that. Like, would an actor back then or actor back now who's doing theatre would always be aiming at Indian cinema? Like now they want to get into cinema. Be aiming at Indian cinema. Like as soon as they enter theatre, they'd be like they want to do movies.
But you know, don't you think? I think that's always. Is it a thing? I'm so sorry. We have so many questions. Is it a thing that every actor who goes into theatre pursues to get into the film industry?
Well, I see no harm if at all people are thinking that way. Some of the theatre purists, even when I went on to being part of films and stopped my work in theatre, felt that I misuse theatre and theatre needs people like me to come back to it. Now, to that I had to say that, you know, it is just a stepping stone. I used it as a stepping stone to show my craft and to get further work. And through that, if I made it to the films, it's fine. And theatre is too strong a platform for it to depend on one actor or few actors who, for professional reasons, are now engaged with cinema and can't spend that kind of time on stage. It'll always keep finding new talent. As for how theatre is doing and how much audience it will retain, it's a bit of a task. We need support from the government. We need more infrastructure. And the talent here, as we all know, we have like in abundance. But if you don't have the kind of platforms, in the sense that, you know, what West End and Broadway has, then you can have only limited presentations. But yes, Gujarati, Marathi audiences actually, possibly in Bangalore. Apart from that, theatre is very quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know two things. One from you, one from me. One is, I want to know from UNIC, creator economy. People who want to become creators, should they become creators? Because it has both the sides. The creator pits have great fame, there's a lot of money, but it also has high levels of insecurity, nobody watching on you, you can get into the trap of self-doubt, depressions, and nobody knows the other side of being a great content creator. Do you want to throw a little light on it, and what do you have to say for people who want to become content creators out there?
I think, like, you know, people who started very early, like people like me, Bhuvan, Ashish, and Prajakta. So I feel people who started early, we started for the love of it. Like I remember the first video that I made was on my friend's phone, because there was nothing, right? There was just, we can just upload it so that we can show it to another friend. So that we don't have a phone to show it to another friend. And that's the reason that, you know, I do that a lot. I want to like ask someone, can anyone from here come? See, Ashish, Bhuvan, Tanmay, Carrie. Did you guys notice there's nobody new in the past 5 years that they named.
Correct.
It's all because, you know, we started for the love of it. And anybody who's starting out right now is depending on the platform to kind of, okay, this is working right now. So I think reels are working. I think shorts are working. I think we should do shorts. That's why. And that's why I keep asking all these people. Like, and if I meet anybody new, I just ask them, tell me if I do this. It's always Bhuvan, Ashish, Chas, Prajakta, someone like that.
Correct.
So I feel the one thing that you should keep in mind if you are doing it is that you should have fun while. The one thing which is very important is if you're not having fun while creating content, you can't last doing it.
Yes. You need to enjoy it, and when you enjoy, there won't be insecurities. What's your say? My thing with you would be a very similar format. OTT has been picking up, and when I say OTT has been picking up, I see it in a mad way. Like the budgets that movies used to have is now on OTT, sometimes even higher. Do you think OTT would take over the cinema, also the live theatre? Do you think people will now? अभी सब कुछ मिल रहा है ना उनको, शादियां हो रही है उनके घर में ऐसे बैठे बैठे, उधर ही शोज हो रहे हैं, उधर ही सिंगिंग, उधर ही खाना भी मिल रहा है. It is getting even more difficult for getting people out and then pay for something and then come for a show. So same goes with movies as well. So movies and theatre, do you think OTT is going to pick up so well that's going to affect legit movies and theatre?
Well, I look at it this way, that there had been theatre, there have been movies, and now there has been television, and now we have OTT. So let's say that it's a gain rather than a loss. It's just that we can't omit one platform out or one because a new entrant has come in. That's not going to be the case. The kind of content that is being made on OTT is very different from what you get in television and from movies, and what you get to see a live performance is a completely different experience. So I'm saying it's a win-win for the audiences and for the creative people, that you have one more platform. If you wanted to want to see a long format story, now you have an OTT platform to say it in 10 episodes or 45 minutes each or whatever it is. And then the longest running formats, of course, television has always been existing. So it's not like let's choose one from the other. I think we Indians generally world over have a tendency कि भैया एक आया तो दूसरा गायब. अरे but क्यों? सबको रखो, and you have a added choice अभी. OTT भी देखो और cinema भी देखो. And we've seen cinema, everyone was doubting, and 3 South Indian films back to back have gone.
Killed it.
Yeah, so audiences are there, they'll go back to the theatres.
I think it also becomes challenging now for people because उनको पता है उनको इतना better content बनाना पड़ेगा to push people out of their houses and come for the movies. So I think a round of applause for Nick and Sharman over here. Before we end this, I want to get into Sharman's mind, and the way we're going to do this is I'm not going to ask you a question. I want somebody in the audience to ask you a question, and I'll try to figure out the answer. So, but you have to ask a very, very basic question. So who are we? Anybody, if you have a question for Sir Sharman, keep it a very basic question, something he likes. Okay, I can ask a question. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys are okay with that question. Thumbs down if you want to change the question. But I have a good question. I want to ask you a very simple question, which would be, your journey has been very long. No? Theatre, ye wo sab kuch karke. There are downfalls, then there are great movies, and there are downfalls again, and we've seen the ups and downs that happens in an artist's life. Have you, do you have a person or a song, but I would prefer a person who has been your go-to person, sense of security, but I would avoid you thinking of immediate family members. But before you think that, are we okay with this question? मुझे पता था, तुम लोगों का दिमाग पता है मेरे को. I want you to think if you have any such person in your mind. Don't tell me the
You
answer.
can't say me also, please.
हाँ.
You can't say me also.
Don't say Nick यार, मतलब हमको पता है, Nick has been inspiration for many. But do you have any such person in your mind right now? Avoid immediate family members. Do you have somebody? You can think of this person. Do you think of the person's name? Person's relationship you have with you? Not immediate family members? Don't look at me, please look at somebody in the audience. You get very scared. I get distracted. He's looking right into my eyes. I mean, like, wait. Please look somewhere in the audience. Close your eyes. No, nobody's running away. We wouldn't. Sharman, just think that you're in a movie theatre. There's a big screen in front of you. On the screen, this name is popping. It's becoming big and small. Big and small. Count the number of letters in this name. 6, 7 letters? Yes? No? 7. Correct. 7 letters. You can open your eyes. I'm going to write something down. So scared about this. Okay. I've written something down. Not very sure of this. Can't change it. committed myself to this. Sharman, for the first time on the mic, who were you thinking of? What name were you thinking of?
Whatever you've written down
No,
there.
no. Please tell. Please. That's a good help. You're very kind. But what is the name you're thinking of?
Sharman, is that allowed? I go to myself.
You go to yourself.
Yeah. Or
Sharman. No,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
Now you can't change.
Oh, you
Now
got it right
committed.
then, huh?
Sharman is what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
Is it any way possible I could have known that?
No ways in hell.
My heart is pounding. I don't know why.
I am coming and staying in your house.
There's something I've written. Do you want to see what I've written?
Yeah.
Let me show it to you first before I show it to everybody. That is Sharman, everybody.
How did she do that? That's incredible. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow. And I didn't want it to be tricky for you, but still I was trying to be honest, and
You
that
have
was
to be
only
honest.
yeah. And
You have to be honest.
whoa, wow! Listen, can I come to your house every other?
Please!
I don't know if this is good acting or.
No. I want a mentor.
Sorry. You've seen me perform.
This is phenomenal, guys. This is incredible. Really.
Thank you.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Round of applause, guys. Come on, louder, yeah, louder.
Thank you, everybody. And this has been an incredible session. I'm sure great insights a lot of us has got. It was very interesting to know your stories. So thank you so much. Round of applause for Sharman and Nick, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.